What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we will be talking about the James Harden trade to the Nets that will now leave the Nets with a Durant, Harden, and Kyrie super team lineup. This trade comes just hours after Harden made the following remarks following a blowout loss to the Lakers.
We're just not good enough. We don't obviously chemistry, talent-wise, just everything, and it was clear. Like I said, these last few games, I love this city. I literally, have done everything that I can. This situation is crazy. It's something that I don't think can be fixed. So, thanks.
So as you saw in that clip, James Harden had finally came out and let his frustration out following a blowout loss to the Lakers. Now, this all comes just weeks after Harden was seen missing practice and training camp in order to spend time at strip clubs across the country. Just a quick warning, I am about to bash Harden, so if you don't want to hear me go off on him so badly, I recommend you probably leave this video right now. You see, James Harden got what he wanted, which is to be traded from the Rockets, but what he lost was my respect along with tons of other NBA fans' respect that will never look at him the same again. Anyways, we kind of got the hint from Harden weeks ago that he wanted out of Houston following some of the strip club incidents that created plenty of circulating rumors that Harden had requested a trade out of Houston. Before Harden's outburst to reporters following the blowout loss to the Lakers, it seemed like Harden had been trying different approaches in his play styles to try and get himself traded. For example, in Harden's first 3 games of the season, he was putting up 37 points a game, which is obviously very Harden-like. Although Harden wanted to get traded, it seems like Harden was putting in full effort potentially as a way to get teams to show interest in him and show them that if they trade for him, he will immediately be able to put up these numbers for them on a nightly basis. However, this all changed after about 3 games when Harden might have seen that by him playing good and at his highest level, the media stopped talking about him and all the trade rumors and trade talk died down, which is clearly what made Harden unhappy, and he obviously wanted out of Houston as soon as possible. So how do we know that he wanted out of Houston as soon as possible? Well, in the next 5 games that Harden played in, he went from averaging 37 points per game to 17 points per game. Yes, you did hear that correctly. Harden's points per game dropped by 20 points, and I am here to tell you that this is no slump on Harden's end. Harden was clearly underperforming on purpose. We all know James Harden to be the best scorer in the league and possibly the best scorer of all time, so it really doesn't take a genius to figure out that Harden was clearly making a statement to the league and a statement to the Rockets that he wanted out. On top of all of this, the Rockets had one of the worst records in the league, and at the time of this recording, they were 3-6, which in case you didn't know, was worse than the New York Knicks. You know for sure there is something fishy going on when the Knicks have a better record than you. Knicks fans, don't get mad. I'm a Knicks fan myself, but this was just a perfect opportunity to make fun of the Knicks. So let's get back on track. Once again, taking into account that the Rockets went from 37 to 17 points a game and the fact that the Rockets have a worse record than the Knicks, I think an important question that we should be asking is, was Harden to blame for the Rockets' early season struggles? If you ask me, this is a no-brainer and Harden is 100% responsible for the Rockets' early season struggles. I mean, Harden was surrounded by an extremely talented Houston Rocket team with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins. Harden clearly didn't want to be in Houston, and it literally had to get to a point where even John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins both decided to speak out against Harden. Just take a look at what Wall had to say following Harden's remarks about the Rockets situation after the Rockets got blown out by the Lakers.
A lot of guys here want to compete at a high level. And like I told everybody tonight, and I told the guys before, when the 1 through 15 guys all on the same page and they commit, they know their role, they know what they want to do, they know what they want to get out of this, that's the win. You all will be fine. But when you have certain guys in the mix that don't want to buy in all as one, it's going to be hard to do anything special, do anything good as a basketball team. I've been on those teams in my 11 years been in the league. I've been on a team like that my first 5 years where it was all about me, not about the team. And that hurts. And it brings everybody down. So when we can get all on the same page, we can be something good here. And we can't dwell down on it because it's only been 9 games. Like, come on, man. You want to jump off the cliff off of 9 games? There's a lot of basketball still.
As you can see, Wall was visibly upset with what was going on with Harden and the way he had just given up on the team. Now, take a look at what Boogie had to say about Harden.
Me personally, I don't feel betrayed at all. My interest is playing with John Wall. to be brutally honest. And with that being said, the disrespect started way before, any interview. Just the approach to training camp, showing up the way he did, the antics off the court. I mean, the disrespect started way before. So this isn't something that, all of a sudden happened, last night. But with that being said, like I said, this is the nasty part of the business. So it is what it is.
These clips are all you need to see to determine the toxicity that Harden had created within the Houston Rockets organization. All the crazy things that Harden has done has basically led to his own teammates calling him a piece of shit. As a recap of everything so far, after there were trade rumors that Harden wanted out of Houston prior to the start of the season, Harden decided to skip practice in order to go to strip clubs. He then goes from averaging 37 points a game to 17 points a game, which any basketball fan knows is something that Harden is clearly doing on purpose, and now we see Harden's teammates breaking down because of the toxic environment that Harden has created within the Rockets. This whole situation has gone way too far, and I think we were able to see the type of person that James Harden really is. You see, James Harden wanting out of Houston is one thing, but what Harden has done is much greater than that. Harden had broadened down his whole team to the point where he was holding the Rockets back from winning games. For anyone who watched a Rockets game this season, you clearly would have saw that Harden just simply wasn't trying on offense or defense. Essentially, at times, it was as if the Rockets were playing a 4-on-5 as Harden just stood there. Just take a look at this clip from the Rockets vs Lakers game. While the whole entire team was sprinting up the court, Harden was pretty much walking up the court. On top of that, throughout the whole entire play, Harden was all the way on the top wing, just standing there and posing no threat whatsoever, essentially leaving the Rockets to play a 4-on-5 on offense. Harden was clearly not trying or making any type of effort to help the Rockets win, and this is just another example of something that Harden was doing to get himself traded. Now, yes, I know I've been very tough on Harden throughout this whole video, and this is actually the second video I made of Harden pretty much bashing him. I just personally think that all these things that Harden had been doing was not right, and it really showed his true colors. On the other hand, now that Harden is a Brooklyn Net, let's quickly discuss how he will fit in my opinion. We know that Harden is a player that dominates when he gets the ball in his hands throughout the game. We also know that Harden is now going to be teaming up with Kyrie Irving, who along with Harden is probably the most toxic player in the NBA. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how Harden reacts to a smaller role in Brooklyn. We know that he won't be getting the ball as much the way he did in Houston, and his points per game as well as shot selection will most definitely decrease. I'm almost positive that there will be some type of drama in Houston again with two toxic players playing together in Kyrie and Harden. So once again, it will definitely be interesting to see how this Nets team will turn out. At the end of the day though, Harden was able to get what he wanted by being a toxic teammate, toxic player, and a toxic person. In other words, if I was an NBA player, one thing I could tell you for sure is that I would not want to be James Harden's teammate. And yeah, with all that being said, I will be wrapping up today's video. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, as I'm sure many of you guys disagree with me, which is fine, as I am open to debate in the comments. Also, make sure to let me know in the comments if you think I'm going way too hard on Harden. Does Harden deserve the hate he's getting from me or from the media, or do we all just need to chill out? Make sure to let me know, as I would love to hear what all you guys have to say. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you didn't already. I'd really appreciate it if you do, and I really hope to see you guys all in the next video.